Good morning. Oh, it's so festive outside today. It's like snowy and pine trees and got I love Santa. I really do love Santa. I love the archetype, right, of Santa and everything that it entails, the generosity, the nostalgia, the excitement of being a kid. Love it. I also love my mocha today, having a little mocha. All right, I loved it so much last time. We're going to do it again. So this is going to be the surprise archetype, including surprise to me. So let me set this down and let me get out my cards, okay? Got our Carolyn Mice archetype cards. And remember, I'm going to be doing this on the fly. So I'm taking out a couple of these because there are blank cards in here that you can add your own archetypes to. I have not done that yet. So let's see which archetype the universe wants us to talk about today. And remember that if it's an archetype that we've already gone into depth with here on Coffee with Donnie, I will talk about how it applies to the energies right now. All right. I will tell you, if any of you are watching this down the road, like you're like, okay, this is weird. It's not Christmas time anymore. There's still something to be gained from this. So don't discount these old Coffee with Donnies if this is future people watching, because there's still something for you in this. Surprise archetype. The archetype is, we have not done this one yet. This is the magical child. Okay, I have no idea if you can see that, but we're going to talk about the magical child today. Okay, this is an interesting one. The magical child. So the child archetypes are like the piece of us that is still there from our childhood. So we talked about the eternal child. The magical child is the person who loves magic. These are my Harry Potter lovers. I love fairies, unicorns, the whole idea of fantasy, the fantasy realm. Fairy tales and anything magical. And there is, in the light with this one, there's so much optimism. There's so much hope and excitement. A lot of times there's an eccentricity to people who have the magical child archetype. So my little Trinity is big time the magical child. Big time. She loves, in fact, probably about a year ago or something, she said, "Hey mom, what's your favorite mythical creature?" And I said, "A mermaid." And she freaked out. She's like, "Wait, are you saying that you don't think mermaids are real?" That's a very magical child thing to say, okay? But it's this, the light of this archetype is the belief that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Okay, the shadow. The shadow is almost the exact opposite of that. And I think it comes from the idealism. There's an idealistic nature to the magical child. So this realm can be often quite harsh. And magical children don't always handle that the best. They get very, very discouraged, and it turns pessimistic. It turns into depression. It turns into hopelessness. So it's like the energy of get your hopes up, think some magical thing's going to happen. And sometimes it does, but when it doesn't, never mind. Humanity is so dark. Things are so hopeless. I feel so discouraged and depressed. So you may recognize yourself in this. Do you have a tendency to go really up into the light, but then really down into the dark? Or you may recognize somebody else in your life. Okay? This could be your sister, your, cousin, your spouse. I yeah, this is a little bit of a feminine archetype, which does not mean men don't have it, right? Because we know the feminine and masculine, that's not an actual gender thing. That is those energies, the feminine and masculine energies. But I don't know very many male magical children. There are some, though. I know quite a few women who fit this one. So how to be powerful with this archetype if this is you? I really feel like the medicine for this archetype is grounding. Staying very, very grounded, because this archetype does have a tendency to head in the clouds. So as physically healthy as you can be, but also anything that grounds you. Spending as much time outside as possible, bare feet in the grass. You're like, it's snowing for a lot of us right now. Okay, but you could still go maybe out on your deck or your patio with bare feet or stocking feet for a few minutes. Staying as grounded as possible. And here's the other medicine. Leave some space around it. So we have a tendency with this archetype, people have a tendency to get really attached to things being ideal. So let there be some leeway there. Can it be good without being perfectly ideal and fantasy-like? Can you still be with the good? That will help you so that you don't swing so far into the shadow with this. Now, it's very interesting that this archetype would come up right now, because there's definitely an energy. I talked about it in yesterday's video. There's definitely an energy right now of illusion, of us being asked to see through our illusions. So the magical child, how was seeing through illusions, how do we still believe that things are possible and stay grounded and real with it and somewhat practical with it, right? How do we believe in magic and still feel like we are the magic, that we're bringing the magic with us? So if we're willing to bring this archetype down to earth, then those are the kinds of questions we're going to ask. How can I make this experience magical? How can I bring magical energy to this relationship, to this challenge even? And how do I create some space around my expectation and attachment so that it doesn't have to be in the realm of fantasy? It's not impossible. We make the impossible possible when we leave space around it for lots of different things to happen. It doesn't have to look exactly like the image in our heads. So, as always, I'm very curious. Is this you? Do you have the magical child archetype, or who do you know who has this archetype? What's your experience with this? I want to hear. Got to bring my coffee cup back into the frame. My I Love Santa. Have another taste. I hope you are all having a magical, magical holiday season. I love you. May your coffee be strong and your life be blessed.